I find this a really interesting question because personally I don't think I use social media to enhance my professional identity. Interestingly, I have a baking blog which I have run with my friend who is also a teacher, and we've run that for the past 5 years and it has become insanely successful for us. We ended up going into a partnership with Food TV. We have thousands of fans on Facebook, which we use as one form of our social media, and that links to a Twitter account. We both have Instagram and we use those things really regularly. In the past year or so though, we haven't been doing that as much just because we've been so busy with work as teacher. So I know all about social media from that, but I don't feel like I'm using that to promote myself as a professional teacher. I do use social media for my own professional development, so I use Twitter to look at what other professionals are doing in education, and I use it to look at readings that other people have done and shared. And I also use Facebook to follow big educational sites and to keep up to date with the latest posts that they've put up. I use LinkedIn as my professional kind of Facebook in a way. I have a lot of my colleagues added as connections on there. I use Pinterest to gather ideas that I found online and to keep all that information stored in one place that's easy to access for me. I've just started to use Blogger as a way of documenting what's going on in my classroom, readings I've done, my thoughts I've had about them, and to share my practice. And through that, through having a blog, I've started to use Twitter a little bit more just to send out posts, information about posts that I've done so other people can access them. I am in charge of social media at our school, so I use Facebook and Twitter to promote our school. I think Twitter works as a really good platform for me because it enables me to connect with a lot of other educators from around the world, to share articles, ideas, and have a discussion. I also think Blogger works really well because I'm able to get more insight into what other people are doing, and I can use it to document what I'm doing. I think LinkedIn works really well as a site to build your connections up in education because it is separate from Facebook, which a lot of people use for personal use, whereas LinkedIn is more your professional network. There is great potential with Twitter to connect with other educators, especially by exploring hashtags that have stuff that's relevant to what I'm looking at doing, and using that to find other educators around the world to facilitate discussion with. There is the potential through using Facebook to promote our school and Twitter to promote our school to build networks with other schools, hear about what other schools are doing, and share our ideas. So I know on Twitter this year, one of our DPs is sharing what we're doing with our junior school as we've come up with a new curriculum that we're implementing. So I know that teachers from Rangiora and stuff like that are following what we're doing and communicating with us, exchanging their ideas, learning from what we're doing, and using that to build their own practice and what they're doing at their school. So I am a professional, that I pride myself in what I do and what takes place in my classroom. I don't really use social media now, as I find it's an add-on to what I'm doing. It's kind of busy work to me. I know that I can do well in the classroom. I don't really then want to stop and document it because it actually takes away from the moment and the teaching. I do want to share more of what I'm doing in the classroom. I think I need to get into the habit of doing that, having my phone on me, so if I do want to take a quick snap, it's not something, I can do it there and then. I don't have to quickly duck off to my bag, grab my phone and come back. So I think I need to get in the habit of doing that more, and I'm trying to do that this term without making it an intrusive thing into my classroom. I think that you can separate your personal identity from your professional identity by having separate accounts. So this is something that I do on Twitter. I have my own account and I have a professional account. It's really easy to switch between the two, as the app on your phone lets you flip between the two. So that's what I do there. You can do that using Facebook as well. It's really easy to set up a page and have it separate Like I have the school Facebook page and I can quite easily post to that, but people don't know that it's coming from me personally because it looks like it's coming from my school. And LinkedIn, I only really have people there that I've met as a professional. So there might be a few contacts that are friends, but they're only really on there because of their profession as well. So it's not like we're interacting on a personal level. We're more likely to use Facebook for that. So I think LinkedIn, being separate from Facebook, keeps its professional status about it. I use LinkedIn because it is a network of professionals. I like using Twitter because it is quick, it's quite current, and there are lots of educators already on there sharing what they're doing. I like to use blogs because I really like reading about what other practitioners are doing, and it enables me to see what they're doing because you can share lots of photos, video, and also their own thoughts, etc. as they can type it all out. I like using Pinterest because I think it's really easy to find specific content and enables me to store it in a way that I can go back to it and access it when I want. It's really easy to find. I don't use Facebook, as I said, because I like to use that as my personal thing. I don't use Instagram. I do in my personal life, I do with my own blog, which is baking, but I don't use it to promote myself as a professional. I think there's a lot of issues there with privacy, so if you're taking pictures in your classroom, etc., I think it's a bit icky putting them online for everyone to see. So that's why I steer clear of Instagram, because it is a photo platform. So the reason I've chosen to use what I do use is because I find I can keep them quite separate from my personal life. They are quite specific to my profession, and I can share what I'm doing in my profession, and people can't really access my personal side of my life, and I like that they're quite separate. So that's why I use what I use.